So yeah, the point of this video is to make some lovely beer cocktails. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Why? And the answer to that is, besides the fact that, you know, it's fun, you killjoy, craft beer is awesome and we want to showcase what it can do. You know, we've thought for a long time that craft beer can stand up to the likes of, you know, spirits, wine, all sorts. So this is going to be a nice little fun how-to video where the measurements are loose, to say the least. Yeah, we'll go with loose. That seems fair. It should be simple to make these drinks, and I do hope you give them a try at home. Most of the beers on the table in front of me are available in the Beer 52 shop, so you can go to beer52.com/shop if you want to give any of these a try. I'm pretty sure we'll make this video available outside of the festival as well.
Yep.
So, yep, Rich says yes. So let's crack into it. First cocktail. Let's go! Now, this cocktail uses bourbon and it uses lager. Now, you can use pretty much any lager that is a craft lager, because if you use anything that's not a craft lager, you know, the spirits of the craft beer will hunt you down. These three are all excellent choices. The way I've been making this, I've been using New Barn's Oat Lager. For one, it's local to me, because I live in Edinburgh, and this is where we're based. And for another, it is really nice, really smooth. It's going to get you that kind of rounded finish that you want from this drink. So first up, we're going to need some lemon juice. So I'm just going to cut into this right on the bar top, because we do not care. It is a prop. And we're going to do about half an ounce of lemon juice. As I said earlier, measurements are going to be loose on this one. I'm just doing this by eye. If you want to measure it out, feel free. The measurement will be somewhere on the screen. Next up, we want some maple syrup. You want about 3/4 of an ounce on this one. And for this stage, the last bit is bourbon. I'm using Michter's. Bourbon of preference, go for it. You know, this is just what I had in the house. And you want about 2 ounces of that, so full of the big bit on your jigger. So now we're gonna get some ice, and you wanna just, a couple of good cubes, lid on, and now we do the fun bit, which is to shake. As you shake, you'll feel the cocktail shaker start to get colder and colder and colder. That's what you want, and it will help aerate, dilute, whatever you're using. So I'm gonna get our glass here, put a few more ice cubes in. So we pour out. And then we top with our lager. That look all right?
Yeah.
Boom. That's what we call a Beggar's Banquet. Let us give this a try. Oh yeah. This is a cocktail for people who don't like bourbon, and if all you had was bourbon. It really is really nice, smooth, light. The lemon and the maple syrup are kind of counterbalancing each other, so you get like a bit of sweetness from the maple, you get a little bit of tartness from the lemon. They work really well with the bourbon, and then the oat lager just kind of rounds everything out. This is a drink that I would have, like, you know, late spring, I would say. It's not quite like the full-blown summer drink, but hot weather, you know, sitting out the back in your garden is really nice. Next up, we are going to do a take on a Paloma. Now, Paloma is a classic cocktail, tequila, grapefruit, and it happens to be, you know, one of my favorites. So we're gonna make that for you just now. So again, starting with our shaker, We want to get some lime. Knife, why would you fail me now? Come on. There we go. Sharpen your knives, people. That's some advice from Doug to you. Again, you're going to do about half an ounce or so. I'm playing this by eye. That's about right. Then we want to get 3/4 of an ounce or so of grapefruit. All right, so then we want 2 ounces of tequila. Now use the best tequila that you can get your hands on. In fact, that goes for like everything. Get the best you can. It will pay off in the end, trust me. You think it won't because you're mixing everything together. It definitely will. So yeah, I'm using Jose Cuervo because it's the best tequila I could find in the shop. Just use the best ingredients you can find. We're also going to put in some simple syrup. Simple syrup, it might sound a bit technical, but really it is exactly what the name suggests. It is simple. All you need is equal parts sugar, water, put it in a pot, put it over a heat, and stir it until it's all fully incorporated, and you get a kind of nice syrupy consistency. So we're going to want about half an ounce of that. We're going to add ice to the shaker. Lid back on, nice and tight. Put some ice in the glass. That'll do. If you have a highball glass, I'd recommend using it. I'm using this because it's like kind of nice and tall, and it looks kind of fancy. So again, pour over. What you want for this, because traditionally a Paloma is made with grapefruit soda, you want a grapefruit forward beer. Now, these two are available on the Beer 52 shop. As the tasting notes suggest, they are quite citrusy, quite grapefruit forward. So you could use one of these two. It is going to give you a different character because it's not the only flavor there. It's definitely, you know, one of the main flavors, but you are going to get like other tropical fruits, citrus fruits from like the hops being used here. So you can use this. You'd probably make up a very interesting drink. However, I'm going to use the most grapefruit beer that I could think of, which is Schaffenhofer's grapefruit with the wheat beer mix. This stuff is delicious and it is cheap as hell. It's also low in alcohol, so you're not going to like blow anybody's head off any more than the tequila is going to do. So you can see straight away that's going to add color to it as well. And that is a Paloma. First of all, you're going to notice that color has gone down to a nice pink grapefruit color. On the nose, you're going to get just loads of grapefruit, and that's exactly what you want from a Paloma. But you're also going to smell a bit of that tequila, that kind of agave coming through quite nicely. Yeah. If the previous drink was a late spring drink, this is the summer drink. It is really light, refreshing, zesty. Because we've added that bit of simple syrup in, it's kind of cut through the grapefruit tartness and the kind of strength of the tequila. As well, your grapefruit beer is coming through wonderfully. It is the leading flavor in this drink. Everything else kind of takes a back seat and lets it play out. So if you're a big fan of grapefruit, this is definitely the drink for you. If you're not a big fan of grapefruit, you can make another drink because Okay, this next drink is called Here Comes the Sun. and it's going to use rye whiskey. Now I've got some Jack Daniel's single barrel here as my rye whiskey. Again, it's what I had. You can use any other kind of rye whiskey that you can get your hands on. But let's make this, shall we? So we're going to use the other half of the lemon that we cut for the first drink, because this requires, again, half an ounce of lemon juice. We're also going to use 3/4 of an ounce of ginger syrup. Now, I talked about simple syrup earlier. This one's a little bit more complex, but not too much more. Essentially, what you're doing is you're getting, a big, about hand-sized knob of ginger, peeling it, cutting it up into small coins. If you want more of a gingery flavor, you can grate it really finely on the kind of fine setting of your grater. And you're putting that in with the sugar and then putting the water in. You want to put a little bit more water in. You're looking at probably like 2-to-1 maybe, because it will cook down. So we're just going to do, actually it doesn't pour that badly, about 3/4 of an ounce ginger syrup. So what that's going to do is it's going to give us a little bit of heat, as well as a little bit of sweetness. And we want about 1.5 ounces, so a little shy of like a full one of these, of the rye. And because we're only using a small amount, we can put in a little bit of our beer into the mix. So this cocktail calls for a wit beer. Now these are the two wit beers that we had in the shop. One of them 7.5%, one of them 5.5%. This one, the Jopen, is dry hopped, so it's going to have a lot more of a stronger hoppy flavor. I'm personally going to go for the St. Bernardus wit because it's a bit more traditional. You could also use Port City's Optimal wit. I've done it with that before and it worked really, really well. So this one might come across as a bit more like traditionally cocktaily because you're not like topping it off with beer. And we're serving it in a coupe, which is this glass here. So ice in the shaker, lid on nice and tight, and shake. Okay. We're just going to pour it straight in. It should be sufficiently chilled because you've been shaking it with ice. And if you want to be fancy with it, you can try and find a nice bit of lemon. You know what? We'll cut you a fresh one because you're a valued customer. Again, you can do a little wedge of lemon on the side. Here comes the sun. Straight away, you get this kind of nice yellowy sort of color. It's kind of aided by the glass because the glass is slightly tinted yellow. But you'll notice it for yourself when you make it at home that it is quite a nice pale yellow color. You're getting a lot of citrus right on the nose there. It's lighter than a whiskey sour, but it's that same ballpark because you're getting a lot of lemon coming through straight away. It's getting added to with the ginger. You're getting a lot of the heat of the ginger, and then instead of it being like a jagged flavor, it's all nicely rounded out by just the sweetness of the ginger syrup, and the rye whiskey as well is actually doing a lot to just flesh everything out. So there we go, folks. Those are 3 beer cocktails. Don't do this one. It was a bad time. It was bad, very bad. I'm gonna forget about it. These 3 are the ones you want to make. And yeah, I do hope that you enjoy them. They are good fun. They are easy to upgrade if you wanted to, make a big picture of them for a party. When you're allowed to have a party. Otherwise, I hope you enjoy.